Okay, setting the intent. Why am I talking about this today, and what are you going to get out of this presentation? So, this is a really important thing to do. The reason I'm putting this early on in the course is because I really want you to approach this whole journey with a strong intention. I need you to know why you're here. And that's what the crux of this conversation is. Um, as you go through the journey, especially throughout the interview process, people are going to ask you, "Why are you here? Why us? Why sales?" And I want you to start thinking about that now and start to ruminate on this so that when that moment comes, you've got a very clear, strong, distinct answer that is personal to you. And so that's what we're going to discuss today. Overall, having this defined is going to help you come across with a lot more confidence and a lot more conviction throughout this entire journey. And that conviction and confidence is going to come across throughout the entire interviewing process, which I will get into in another module. But again, I want you to start thinking about this now. This is going to be a differentiator from other candidates. Trust me. So, just at a high level, the purpose of setting an intention is so that you can show up to the job hunt with more conviction, purpose, and confidence. One of the top things that companies are going to be judging you on is how intentional are you? Do you really want to be here? Or are you just here because you're following the latest trend? You're jumping on the bandwagon, and you've heard that tech sales is the hottest thing. It's a good industry to be in, and you just want to get paid more. Um, Another reason why companies judge you on this is because, believe it or not, and I don't think this is you, but this is a lot of people on the internet that are just literally spamming their resume, spamming their application at any job opening that they can get or find, and just desperately trying to get any job anywhere. They have no intentionality. They really just need a job. And that's a really bad way of going about the job hunting process. Obviously, those people get ignored unless it's some low level, low paying job that anyone can get. But for tech jobs, you must have a strong why for being here. If they're going to pay you buttloads of money, if they're going to let you work from home, if they're going to provide you remote, they're going to provide you with benefits, unlimited vacation time, all of which is really common in the tech industry, they're not going to hire some schmuck from the street. They really want to hire top performers or high potential that they can develop and train and coach so that they can be effective. Everyone's why is different. And so I'll teach you how to develop it here in a minute. But most importantly, really, what I want you to do here is I want you to avoid the landmine, which is being a wishy-washy candidate. If you're a wishy-washy candidate who doesn't have a strong purpose, you're a walking red flag. You're the riskiest type of candidate because if you don't have a strong purpose, these people tend to easily be discouraged and are fast to quit. And these are red flags for organizations because those people quit. They quit fast and they end up being money drains. Okay, think about it from the company's perspective. I just hired this guy who seems really promising, and then he quit within 3 months. Okay, so we just paid this dude for 3 months. We took a ton of time to train him and develop him and coach him and show him the way. And then he ended up leaving anyway. Well, that person is a money drain. We just wasted 3 months' time, 6 months' time, 12 months' time. These tech companies really want to hire someone that's going to stick, at least a few years, because then everybody wins. They get their return on investment by hiring you, training you, developing you, but also You, as a result, for being there for a long time, end up getting paid well. You get experience, you learn the trade, and then from there you get promoted, or you move on to your next best opportunity. And so it's a win-win, but nobody wins when it's a bad hire, when you're a risky candidate, when you quit right away. So I'm going to get into that more in a minute. So why are you here? Seriously, I want to know what brought you to the tech sales industry, or why you're intrigued in tech or in sales. I really want you to think about this. Um, and if your answer is money, get the fuck out of here, right? Get out of here. We all want to get paid. That's why we work. That's why we have jobs. We want money. I want you to think about this from another lens. Money aside, what's motivating you? And I'd like to tell you my story so that you can start to think of a few different ideas here, and hopefully I can inspire you to, think bigger here and uncover your purpose or reason. So for me, out of all the industries and sectors out there, tech really fascinates me the most. um, I love being on the front lines of innovation and invention. I've really enjoyed over the last few years hearing about new technologies before the public even finds out about them. It's really cool and inspiring to see that there are people out there who are truly wanting to make the world a better place. And that to me is really inspiring. To give you an example, if you heard my video in early on about, why, a little bit about me and my background and who I am, I'm a first generation American. My family came here 30 years ago and had nothing. And, when I was born here and growing up, my parents didn't even speak English. I remember being at the grocery store at 6 years old, and my mom trying to figure out how to, ask for a change, and the cashier laughing at us. And the inner child within me remembers that, because it was a really painful and embarrassing experience for me. And I remember feeling bad and sorry for my parents, because they were struggling, and they were good people, and they were just laughed at. And so for me, seeing technology positively impacting people across all walks of life, all kinds of backgrounds, is really inspiring and motivating for me. It really fulfills me to be working in the tech industry, because I see how we can positively impact people. Um, so to give you an example here, on the right hand side, really what this is, and these are very popular in San Francisco now, but these are autonomous vehicles, meaning they don't require a driver. And these autonomous vehicles have been pretty much in development ever since I moved here almost 10 years ago. I've seen people developing them. For most of the time, they had drivers. Up until very recently, they were fully autonomous, meaning there was no driver within them. That you could just hop into one of these. You can now hop into one of these autonomous vehicles and take a ride wherever you want here in San Francisco. And I thought it was the craziest thing when I saw my first vehicle without a driver. I was like, this is crazy. How the hell can this even happen? How is this even um, possible? And the reason why is because of technology. There's a lot of engineering that went into this. There's a lot of innovation that went into this. And all of a sudden, we have these autonomous vehicles in San Francisco that are safer than human drivers, because human drivers tend to, text, get distracted, make mistakes. And the idea and the story and the motivation behind these autonomous vehicles is that they're going to save lives. How many people die each year because of drunk driving or, simple human error, car accidents, or people getting ran over because someone's looking down at their phone as they're speeding through a crosswalk, right? 40,000 people each year in the United States die because of human error in vehicles. And I thought this was a really motivating story, a really motivating example, and an inspiring example of how technology makes the world a better place. And I personally was really inspired by that. I continue, there's dozens and hundreds of examples just like this of how technology um, is making the world a better place. And so that is my why. That's why I am here. So finding your why. These are common responses that I've personally heard from students and people that I've mentored who have broken into the tech industry. And I just want to share these with you as ideas and inspiration so that you can start to noodle on your why. So common responses that I've heard. I love getting to work on something that's higher impact. I got tired of selling jeans and TVs at the store. I wanted to sell something that had a higher impact on people. I've always been entrepreneurial and have had dreams of eventually starting my own business someday. I wanted to learn the fundamentals of sales and business. And so I thought tech sales was the most exciting way to do it. I've always been fascinated by technology. Since I was a kid, I built my first computer. I thought that tech sales was a good way for me to continue exploring that fascination and get paid well. I really like this. This example is from actually a student of mine who I helped mentor and coach, and he had shared with me that his dad was a teacher, is a teacher. He's an educator, and for 20 years he saw his dad struggle with time and grading papers and just the entire administrative burden that can come with being a teacher or an educator. And so this student of mine, this client, was looking into ed tech, so educational technology that has a focus on helping teachers in schools and school districts. And for him, he wanted to break into the tech industry so that he could give back and in a way honor his parents who were educators. And I personally found that to be a really cool story. A common one I hear is I'm outgoing and I'm a people person. This felt like a great way for me to apply my strengths while also getting exposed to a new sector. And lastly, I want more challenge. I've been doing sales for a long time and have succeeded. Now I'm looking for the next big thing, and tech sales seems to be it. So the most important thing here is, look, I don't need you to have the greatest, most in-depth answer in the world. I'm not grading you on how inspirational your answer is. It doesn't matter. But what does matter is that you define it. That's really the key thing. I want you to at least just define your why. That's it. A quick note on money, right? I do want to talk about this real quick because a lot of people, one of the things I've heard is like, okay, yes, I'm really just here for the money. I just want to get paid more. I really need to just provide better for my family, provide better for my kids. I want to prove my parents wrong who said I could never get a good job. Um, money, money, right? Okay, look, listen. Yes, money is important. Money talks, and I think the world revolves around money. Everything comes back to money. Um, but it is not appropriate or optimal to lead with it throughout your conversations. Look, tech pays well. It is a given. That's why we're here, right? That's why you're inspired to even look into this course, right? Tech pays well. Trust me, you will be taken care of. I will guide you throughout this entire course on how you can land the best opportunity possible. I will not lead you astray. I will make sure that you're having the right conversations, asking the right questions, vetting companies and job offers well so that you get the most amount of money in your pocket. Trust me, that is handled. I will take care of you. And lastly, I hear you. Look, your desire for remote work or high paying job, work life balance, providing for your family, providing for yourself, that is all valid. I do not want to invalidate that nor take away from how important that is. That is the number one important priority. I recognize that. Trust me, I come from nothing. I used to get $1 for allowance a month. And my family to this day, my parents, they don't have much. They live a very humble life. So again, I hear you. Money is important, but the lack of intentionality is going to be one of your biggest killers here. Recruiters and companies sniff out unmotivated candidates like a dog at the airport. They're gonna pick up on it. Candidates who lead with money and make it all about money tend to be the most unmotivated, unloyal, and undesirable candidates. And why is that? Because when another opportunity comes that's of higher pay, they end up just quitting. They end up just leaving. Or if they don't get that one raise that they were really hoping for, they end up quitting. Those are all really important things. Believe me, again, I know money is important, but I just don't want you to lead with it. In the end, this is a business. Crap candidates get disqualified, high potential candidates get paid and they get hired. So while money is important, I want you to think of other motivating factors here that are inspiring you and drawing you to the tech sector and drawing you to tech sales. Lastly, to conclude, intentionality, aka knowing your why, subcommunicates ambition. Candidates who are intentional about why they are here are more likely to succeed, more likely to have long term success, and more likely to succeed despite the tribulations and trials that might come throughout their tech career. And so, I'm not a motivational speaker. I'm not here to to motivate you or spit out motivational platitudes at you. But yeah, it's important for you to know why you're here and important for you to have intentionality. So if you can display your intentionality throughout this entire process, especially throughout the interviewing process, you are more likely to win and get picked and get an offer. So because when you know your why, you come across as a lot more excited, you brighten up the entire room, and you explain your answers a lot better. It's a differentiator. So just start to think about this now. I'm going to come back to it later in the interviewing stage. But again, really, what is your purpose? Why why are you here? Think about it and get back to me.